like did this cute arrangement. I bought the sunflowers, and then she like was like, oh, let's put some other flowers together. And so like she put the like the pumpkins and all that stuff together. So it's really cute.
Amazing. She's amazing.
She spoils me so much.
Oh.
Anyway.
It was on recording. Congratulations to you and Ellie.
Thank you. Welcome to the Viva La Vulva podcast. I am your host, Dr. Cara Quant, and I would like to thank you for joining me today. And my co-host, Lily Wang. This is such a good relationship that we're having, you know, this podcast relationship that we're having. And we were just speaking earlier about my new engagement that, yes, so happy. She did it so amazingly. But I don't know if you guys heard the earlier episode with my now fiance, Eliana. So we just got engaged last month in September. So I am so excited and definitely have the engagement glow, I feel. But it's been fun. It's definitely been a journey, and now we're gonna continue with like wedding planning, and so that is something to look forward to. But getting back to us and today's episode. So Lily, you are joining me today, and this month of October, we're recording this in October, is National Kink Month. Which I did not know. And Lily, you actually I follow you on MedAmour and see all of the what is it this month? And so Kink Month is this month, and it is fitting because I do have a story that I have to tell you about kink, but yeah, we can discuss it today on our episode. So thank you, Lily, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, and so excited. Congratulations to you and Ellie. Enjoy the engagement period of just fun and butterflies in your stomach and jitters, and this will be a time where you'll really get to just kind of flourish and see who you're going to be with for the rest of your life as your partner, and have fun with it. Like, don't rush into anything, but just make it about you two. Don't let other society pressures or family. I'm sure everyone's like, we're
already getting the families that are like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, and we're like,
like, don't you can listen to whoever, but you just listen to each other. Don't worry about everybody else.
Yes, I do like that advice. Yeah, I do like that advice because I feel it already coming on, with definitely like the close family. Mom is already in my ear like, oh, you should invite this person. I'm like, Mom, I haven't seen them in 20 years. What are you talking about?
Your guest is going to get really long. And then so eventually you two are going to be like, oh my gosh, let's just go elope. I'm like, that's a bad idea.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is definitely a journey that we are about to embark on. But I'm excited about it. I'm very excited. So thank you. So wanted to talk about what kink is. I know for myself, I have heard about it. I think early on when I thought sex was like wrong, or, it's behind closed doors, you should only do it in private. When I heard about kink, I was like, ooh, this is like it's like a whole new world of experiences. And I think that's what it really is. It's just like a whole world of unusual sexual experiences.
Right. Well, thank you, Dr. Cara, for first of all letting us have this platform to talk about this topic, because I think, especially with October, National Kink Month, and it's also usually Breast Awareness Month, but even though we need to be aware of all of these topics all year round, and I don't know if it's just not that pink doesn't matter, and we talk about breast cancer awareness all the time, and I think it is definitely more mainstream and known. It's really cool that we can talk about something different on your podcast today, just to do something a little different, a little kiki, not like the straight and narrow. Puns intended.
Yeah.
So for us to talk a little bit about kink, do you want to start off with like the actual formal definition?
Yeah, so I was doing some research, and I think this is according to the Oxford Dictionary. Kink, this is the informal version, but is a person's unusual sexual preference. So I think that that can mean so many things,
Yeah.
but an unusual sexual preference.
So just to add to it, I
Mhm.
also have kink is defined as the most important thing here is the consensual of non-traditional sexual and sensational and intimate behaviors. So that could mean, what does that mean? Expansion of BDSM, a little bit of bondage, the domination, the submission, and threesome play. It really is another definition that I really like is like talk about the literal sense. If you had a piece of plywood that was straight, like a straight plywood board, and there's a little kink in it, just because it's a little non-straight and it's a little bit of a divot. Actually, that's the other definition. If you like say, hey, there's a kink in my hair, or hey, there's a kink in the spoke wheel of the bike, it's because it's usually supposed to be straight.
Yeah.
Sexuality in our sexuality terms too, but there's a little bit of a kink in it just because it's a little different.
It's a little different. Yeah. And I like that. I mean, I like the different because who wants traditional? Who wants, I mean, me, I'm not a traditional person, but like who wants like the straight and narrow? Because I think that over time it can get old, like it can get boring. So I do like the kink.
Yeah, the little bit of kinkiness, the excitement. I mean, I think it's kind of appropriate. And also the month of October with Halloween, people have like their alter egos and they get to dress up in costume and like a different image or fantasy that they have. And I think the costume play really does lead into your sexuality of how you want to visualize yourself, how you want to be in your relationship, whether that's kind of like the one night, right, where ladies can dress really sexy and not be judged as whatever, whores or sluts, but to be super sexy, beautiful, feel empowered, and experiment with what they want to explore and have fun with.
Yes, no, I like that. And I actually have these boots that I don't usually bring out, but every once in a while they're the like really high, they're almost like a patent leather boot that's like thigh high and it laces up on the side. And I just think that they're the best. And like I just feel so empowered when I wear them. I feel so empowered. I think I
Sexy.
just wear them out.
Yes, yeah, definitely. That's kind of, it's almost the role playing, just kind of like actors do. You have to like get into the mood, into the setting. You're setting your character first, and then you can decide to do whatever you want wherever you want.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, no, I do getting back to the story of like of kink and like, when I first heard about it when I was like my early 20s, it has definitely evolved for me. And I've definitely I have gone to sex shops and I've bought certain things. So like a flogger is one of them. You can use blindfolds, you can use candles, candle wax.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like there's, I had
Ropes and chains.
that's what I was gonna say. Ropes. So Shibari is a thing that I was just introduced to last year during my Viva La Vulva event in San Francisco. We actually had a Shibari specialist or person who came and did a performance for everyone and did a Japanese rope tying. This woman who was consensual, she wanted to do it. And it was a beautiful thing. Yeah, it was very beautiful and like artistic.
I was going to add, it's a whole different art form and almost another culture. There's a community of this bondage and kink community where there's all these different types. And kind of like life, I don't believe that it fits within a definition or fits within a box. It really is a huge spectrum and there's no rules. So I think that's what kink people love is that they don't follow this one straight arrow and they don't follow the rules. They're really all about bending and kinking and it's exploring and doing different actions of whatever makes them feel good.
Yeah, but I like how you had in the definition that it's consensual. That is such a big part of that statement, of that definition, is that it's consensual. So even though, you're doing rope tying and maybe you're not able to have control over your body, there's still, there's still a something that was discussed beforehand, saying that this is okay, this is not okay, probably a boundaries and, consent conversation was had before,
Yes.
before getting down into the kink, the actual kink.
So important. Agreement from both parties consensually of whoever's doing what roles, and safety words, guidelines are really important. A lot of conversation beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was actually talking with the person that did Shibari. His name is what is his name? Anthony. Oh, it'll come to me. But he does Shibari on a regular basis, and he was like, it takes a lot of trust from the other person. It takes a lot of discussion, communication. I feel like, yeah, that's what is always needed to have good sex, to have good interaction with somebody, especially in like a sexual setting or an intimate setting. Yes, that is so key.
So for the two performers, let's say, there's the dominant one who's maybe doing the tying, and then the submissive one who's being tied up, that trust and bond and conversation beforehand. And another form of kink too would be an audience, like those that are watching. So that is also kinky. And there might be folks in the audience who are also aroused by the act. So the person who's tying is getting excited, the one who's being tied up is getting excited, but so are some members probably in the audience. And I would think you also need consent from the audience members too, to let them know that, hey, this performance will be happening at an event or at a show, at events and shows.
Yeah, no, it brought a lot of people out. I would say like that was part of the highlight of the of the weekend, was the Shibari performance. People were like, "Oh, let me go watch this," because it was definitely erotic, and like it was like the music and the lighting and the setup. There was like a stage that we had, so it was a good set. Yeah, it was a good setting, and there was a lot of people that were very interested in it.
So we can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, no, we definitely can't wait for the next one. I don't know when I'm thinking next year, 2022 is the next Viva La Vulva exhibit, but it does take some time and does take some effort. So
You have a wedding plan now.
I have a wedding to plan. So maybe it might be on like a smaller scale or something like that.
It could be a performance act in your ceremony. Consensual. That'll cut down your your guest
That'll
list.
definitely cut down. Yeah, my aunts and uncles that are coming, they're like, I'm just gonna leave my gift here and I'm gonna go. Or maybe someone might be very interested. Like, let me stay and see what's going on.
It'll be surprising for you. Maybe it was that aunt and uncle who's really into it.
That would be funny. Or I could have like a separate party, like a separate wedding party with the kink part.
Your PC version with the family, and then your kinky wedding. Ooh.
Exactly. Yes, we can have two different versions of it. That might be interesting. Sky's the limit. So yeah, there's a lot of different things that we can do.
We're talking about weddings and kink. That just kind of made me think of like Beetlejuice, because Beetlejuice and the time where Winona Ryder was in that red gown, like that's not traditional.
Yeah.
So then therefore that really did open eyes and communication about doing something different. And that could be kink considered. There's no rules of what kink really is.
No, there's not any rules of it. There is definitely not. What else can I talk about when it comes to kink?
You said you had a story that you're going to share with us.
Yes. So I recently went to New York. And yes, I went to New York. And I have always been interested in like visiting or attending um, intimate kink parties. And I actually was able to go to one to observe. I mean, I'm not gonna like hold back. If I wanted to do something, I would, but it was more of an observation. And there was so many different types of people, types of body types, types of ages that were there. I mean, they had like, ground rules. You have to, consent, boundaries is such a big thing when it's in that world. But saw rope tying, saw the floggers, saw a lot of slapping. I mean, like ass slapping, ass play.
Awesome. I just know, tell us a little bit more in detail, because for those listeners who maybe not even like privy and understanding of what you even experienced, you went into this event and like, what did it look like? Was it more classroom style? Was it where there were people on sides and you're walking through this room, or how many people were there?
It was in I would say it was in more of like an apartment kind of setting, but it was on a larger scale. It was, it was almost like a club type setting. So they had different rooms. And so the first room was like just put your stuff down, kind of, there was different, what else was like you could put your coat away, get a little bit more comfortable in whatever clothes that you came with, or maybe if you wanted to change clothes.
Very me, like very invitational, like almost a home guest party. I'm surprised versus
Yeah.
like people automatically think the dungeon or the empty warehouse.
No. And I feel like people, or especially vulva owners, have to feel comfortable in their setting before they can, really express themselves, or allow themselves to be expressed in different ways. So I feel like, vulva owners, including myself, needs to feel comfortable. So if a warehouse, if it's like cold or just like creepy, then I am, not feeling it. But yeah, it was like more of a homey kind of setting. So in the beginning it was just like a gift shop, and they also like sold swag and things like that. And so the next room was like the bar, and there's like a table if you wanted to play games. I think they had like what do they have? Jenga, like the life-size Jenga, if you wanted to play that. There was a DJ. And then the next room over was like the beds. So they had beds, and they had a pole, and they had a lot of different things that you could do. A lot of kinky type of things. I think they had like one of those things that you could be tied up onto.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a lot of different places that people could go. They had a pole performance in the beginning, so there was like a pole dancer that artistic, but it was a good performance.
And were there acts going on all at the same time?
No, it was just like one act. It wasn't that big of a crowd. I would say there was probably like 20 or 30 people there.
Yeah, very intimate.
It was
That's so
it was very
cool.
but yeah, I mean, there was just like so many different types of things. People had, like bondage stuff on. It was very interesting to experience and be a part of.
That's so cool. How does one get into the community if they're like trying to find this? This obviously was a personal invitation, but I guess where could kink explorers try to learn more and explore this?
I think you just go online. I mean, everything is so easily accessible. Everyone can Google. You can literally Google, like, where is a sex club in my hometown? And I'm sure something will come up. And if not, I don't know, like I had to do a little bit of researching, but Google is, I would say, like a good start to to doing it. Yeah, there
Cool.
are websites, there are places, Eventbrite, Meetup. There's a lot of different places that someone could go in order to find, some type of thing that they're looking for. Some community that is like along their lines, like something that they feel comfortable in doing and want to explore. So yeah, there's a lot out there.
Well, there you go, party people. Go find your community.
Go find your community. Yes, definitely go find your community because it is out there for you.
Yeah. And you know what? It really will just enhance yourself as an individual and your confidence and seeing what you want to bring into a relationship and just opening up communication between you and your partner on what you want to do. And there's nothing wrong with vanilla ice cream. Everyone loves the standard vanilla ice cream, but then you can get some extra chocolate sauce on there or sprinkles or nuts and chewy caramel and whatever gummy bears. People throw gummy bears, and now there's like all sorts of toppings when you go anywhere. Fruit, whatever.
Whatever you want. Yes, whatever you want is out there. It's out there for you. Yes. And it's always a discussion between your partner and you, or for yourself or friends who want to explore it. As long as you're open to like bringing it up, the sky is the limit when it comes to people that are similar. Because there's 6 billion or more people on this planet. Like, you don't think that there's one person and there's a group of people that are interested in the same type of stuff that you're interested in. So yeah, I do believe that. Definitely. And I've seen it firsthand.
And it's not even on the MedAmour website, but there is out there, and I've seen the product. There's like a 1-2 page kink bondage contract that I think is a great reference point. So you as an individual could read it, and then that way you actually have all the guidelines and rules, and you can discuss this with your partner and who you're going into doing kink and fun play with, just so that you have it all on paper and it's contractual, it's very consensual, and all the rules are lined out.
Ooh, I like that. Wait, so you said it's on the MedAmour website?
It's not, but I have access to it. So if anyone listening wants to know what it is, you can just reach out to us directly. But I will send you one too, so you can have it. Actually, let's include it in the fun giveaway we're gonna do.
Yes. Actually, I want to know, is there any other like MedAmour products that are along with the, the kink and the kink theme of the month?
Right. And because again, there's no even though we discuss the definition of kink, there really is no defining of what it is. And some people have different comfort levels and zones of how extreme they want to go. But bondage, like rope play, is definitely a very good place to start between you and a partner. But even more starting point, just it's about mentally getting yourself relaxed and getting into the mood, is blindfolds. So we have blindfolds, we have long sashes that could be a blindfold, or you could use as like ties for your wrists.
Oh, okay.
We do sell handcuffs, kind of like very much lovely chained handcuffs. Here's an example from Lalo.
Okay, I like that. Like, is it easy to get out? Because I don't necessarily like the ones that are like, oh, I can just really easily get out. So this is
you can see these probably are not, because of the satin wraparound, and you can actually have it really tight around your wrists where you would not be able to get out. Now, they do make some where it's very easy for you to get out, just in case, for safety, and just I think for beginners too. These are called the Quickie Cuffs. So these are silicone.
Okay.
Just show you. Yeah, they're just made out of silicone.
Cool. So like a little beginner handcuffing.
different body shapes and hands and wrist sizes, easy to get in and out of. Here's the blindfold sash I was talking about, so you can tie, and so it's not so tight with the elastic around your eye, like an eye mask, but you can actually use this to tie wrists or ankles or body parts with other body parts, or as an eye mask as well.
Okay.
But that was
that you can sleep in after you've done the play.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. The light, blocking out the light. But And then, what else leads them into like candles we discussed. There's like a lot of massage oil candles. So where the wick being burnt is actually great for sensation and temperature play and really just kind of arousal just from touch. It's all about just touching and connecting with your partner and seeing what they would want next. Then it kind of can lead into, we were talking about floggers or paddles, and definitely can introduce a sex toy, a vibrator at this time as well. And how you choose to use it too could be kinky.
Yeah. And which brings up the subject of I'll just say a patient that I've had in the past has brought up a question to me about like how often to use a dildo. Is there like a too much or like a limit to the amount that a vagina can take with the dildo? And I was like, there is no limit. She said that she was doing it by herself and that she felt comfortable with doing it by herself. And I was like, as long as that you're receiving pleasure from it, as long as no one is being harmed by you doing this, then there is no limit to the amount of times that you can use it.
You go, girl. Good for you. Like, that's so healthy, probably too. If she's orgasming all that time, all the endorphins you're releasing, all the calories you're burning.
Actually, Viva La Vulva did do an orgasm challenge, which is their 30-day orgasm challenge. And so that was fun. I don't think I got to the full 30 days, but I did try as much as possible. Yeah. And it was, like there's so many good benefits to orgasm.
It's supposed to be stress-free when you release all that angst, but then I'm wondering if because you had this challenge, it was stressing you out.
It was stressing me. I think there was, some pressure. There was a pressure component to it also, but yeah, I tried. But yeah, there's a lot of good effects with oxytocin being released, which is like the feel-good hormone. It's the hormone that gets a bonding hormone. There's all types of relaxation hormones that are released during orgasm.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't use your dildo or toys too much.
No, you can't. You definitely can't. And I've also been asked about like, is there like a vibrator? Can I like desensitize my clitoris because I'm using a vibrator too much? And the answer is no. I have not seen any studies. I mean, there's also not a lot of studies about women's sexual health in general. But in terms of like desensitizing, I've talked to a lot of sexperts, sex therapists. And there's no desensitization that anyone has evidence of that happens with using your vibrator too much. So dildos are okay, vibrators are okay.
Yeah.
And as long as you're getting pleasure, then there's no limit.
That is such a myth, and we get asked that question a lot too. Of the desensitization. I mean, now your body can get used to it. So if you just take a break and then kind of reset yourself mentally and physically, and then it'll still be just as impactful as before.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, just like the vagina can accommodate for a human baby to go through and it goes back to its normal structure afterwards. The same with the clitoris. The clitoris can have a lot of vibration and it's going to continue to provide pleasure unless there's something that's happened, unless there's surgeries that have happened or things that have happened to affect the nerves of the vulva or the pelvic floor. But otherwise, there's no desensitization. Yes. So with that being said, should we move into our giveaway, our kink giveaway month?
Who doesn't love free stuff?
Yeah.
We are going through, actually, long story short, we are going through such a like moving process for our company as well too. So we have so many fun goodies and products. To win the giveaway, you have to follow Viva La Vulva as well as MedAmour 1. And we will be giving away a fun kink, we'll say a sexy kink bondage package valued at $250 or more, $250 or more. So make sure you are following and listening to this episode, as well as following both Cara and I on Instagram, and more bonus entries with Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Apple Tunes. Thank you to all. We're just both a woman-supported passion project. And thank you so much all for listening. And we can't wait to see who wins our giveaway.
Yeah, so more details will be on our social media platforms. I'm thinking I will put this out on the 22nd. So maybe do like a full week, or maybe we can stop it on like Halloween. That would be a good one. So yeah, the details will be in terms of like when you can participate in the giveaway. It will be on our Instagram. Again, Viva La Vulva LA and MedAmour 1. Look out for those, or follow us and follow the instructions, and you could win this gift basket of $250 plus. With a whole bunch of kinky things that you can use by yourself or with a partner. So I'm excited about it.
Yay!
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to the Viva La Vulva podcast. Again, I am your host, Dr. Cara Quant, and my guest host, Dr. Lily Wang, or not Dr. Lily Wang. I call everyone a doctor. You're a doctor at heart. Lily Wang as the guest host, and I thank you again for being a part of the podcast today.
Thank you. I'll be one of your love doctors. Many love doctors.
Love doctors. I like that. So if you like this episode, if you like today's episode or any of the episodes, then definitely subscribe to the podcast. Let your friends and family know about this podcast, because it is uplifting and empowering the vulva and vulva owners, or even people that know vulva owners. So thank you for listening, and talk to you soon. Bye.